Hello and welcome all to the 65th part of the series on self exploration. Joining the dots, contemplating, comprehending, and sharing it with you all raw. All that sounds great is the grace of all those who have blessed me, and all that sounds not so great is my limitation. M and N, variables in mathematics. Some basic maths says if m is not equal to n, if m is not equal to n, then m minus n is not equal to n minus m. If m is not equal to n, if two numbers are not equal, then their difference is not the same. Their sum is same. M plus n is equal to n plus m, but m minus n is not equal to n minus m. If the order of the numbers is changed, answers are different. Also, if n is greater than m, out of the two numbers m and n, if n is a bigger number than m, then in the real world n minus m is possible. If n is 5 and m is 3, then 5 minus 3 is possible. But m minus n, 3 minus 5 is not possible. Because to find 3 minus 5, we will need negative numbers, something that is not there in real world. It can be there on paper, or we may need to interpret negative numbers in a very different way in real world. Is this a maths tutorial? No, it is not just maths. Let us once again look at the commutative property. If the order is changed, answers are different. If the order is changed, answers are different. How and why? If n is bigger than m, if n is bigger than m, then n can give m all that it asks because n has all that and more than what m wants. N has 5 and m has 3. So m asks for 3 and n can readily give it because it has 3 and 2 more. And something that is 2 more is still left with n because n is greater than m. So simple. But if n asks something to m, if n asks something to m, if the bigger asks something to the smaller, m may give full of itself, still unable to fulfill n's demands. M may give full of itself, still unable to fulfill n's demands. M may give away all 3 it has, but M wants 5. So if n has asked 5 from m, m will need to keep the n minus part pending with itself. I have given 3, I need to give 2 more. It will have to borrow that 2 from someone else. It is that minus of n minus m what n wants, but it is lacking with m. So it has to keep it pending or it has to borrow it from somebody to give it to n. When the bigger asks smaller for something, the smaller cannot give all that the bigger is asking. And therefore, it can give full of itself and still something is pending. How are N and M taking these things? When M is asking something from N gives it all and it still has surplus. On a very different note, N is greater than M, N is bigger than M, and N has the natural upper hand and gives M either in its own pride and vanity or in its utmost generosity and humility. And therefore, N minus M is always positive. All agree and accept this very easily. N has extra, so it can give it to M. It may give in vanity or it may give in generosity, humility, but it is a positive flow. It comes from excess to scarce. But when it comes for this big N to ask small m for something, when the big seeks something from the small, it becomes minus of n minus m. Number is same, but the signs change, therefore the connotations change. Connotations change in the view of the world, in the perspective of n, and in the perspective of m. The world will say, how can the big ask the small for something? N may feel low if it is vain to ask something from M which is smaller. The owner asking the employee for a favor, and M, if it doesn't have the right perspective, may feel I am small and why this big is asking something from me? It should give me, no? If negative number is a hypothetical concept, this is very important. We say that negative number is a hypothetical concept. And if it is taken, the hypothetical concept is taken in the right spirit, there is nothing like a negative number. There is nothing like negative number. In that case, is m minus n and n minus m different? In that case, if negative number is not a hypothetical concept, is m minus n and n minus m different? N asking m for something and m giving its fullest and still not being able to give to the required demands of n, is it different? Are the answers different if the order is changed? On a still different note, on a still different note, is m minus n always n minus m only? Is m minus n and n minus m the same n minus m? Sometimes n pretends to be a taker to boost up m, to buck up m. That it is not always that I am big and you are small, so I cannot take from you. Just like the teacher tells the student to tell a story or explain a concept in the class, or the guest asks the child to sing a poem or teach a table of two. That is to boost the confidence of the one who is small. So N will say if the N has that spirit, it will pretend to be a taker to boost up M, and the M will feel better, that it is not always that I am taking from N. Sometimes even I am giving N whatever I have. It may not be what entire N needs, but whatever I give, whatever I have, I can give it completely. Is that a surrender? Is that a sublimation? Is that the God asking the devotee, for all that you have, you give it to me? Just to boost up, just to boost up the spirit of the devotee. So, however it looks, even if N seems to be taking at times, it is always a giver. And M, even if it seems to be giving at times, it is always a taker. Even if it gives a thing, it is taking the energy, the boost from N, because N is greater than M. N is bigger than M. And if N has to be righteously bigger than M, then it is always N minus M. N giving M, because negative numbers is a hypothetical concept. Complicated? M minus N is not equal to N minus M. Should we call it or should we not call it? Not just match. And the same holds good for M into N is not equal to N into M. M into N is equal to N into M, but M divided by N is not equal to N divided by M. Can we decode it all by ourselves now? That was just an extrapolation of a very simple rule in mathematics to life. Joining the dots is the ground theme of this series. Thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned for some more such crazy looking but thought provoking concepts. Bye.